A stylish tomboy unexpectedly grows inside the body of this handsome middle-aged man. The tomboy in her heart feels afraid and just wants to break free. Only because the man in front of her is a gentle artist. The group of young people growing up together are all his masterpieces. Even though she used all her force to open the package, she still couldn't succeed. At this moment, Joshua, the unlucky guy with a charm on his forehead, walked in. Since it's a furnace, Bug, you can't touch that bastard's body. His serious look is like a ray of hope. After the gunshot, the female demoness felt a little pain. She turned around and gently said to Joshua, "Thank you so much." And because the man had just dodged the bullets with full force, Vivian's half-face had already melted into the man's body at this moment. The usually calm Joshua was completely unaffected by what just happened. "So next, I won't give you any more time to leave your last words." Just heard a gunshot. The man fell to the ground in response. But Vivian's body still couldn't break free. In theory, the furnace, Bug, should disappear after the man dies. The next moment, the man's eyes opened. He reached out and grabbed Joshua with one hand. It turns out the bullets were neutralized by the man using the furnace, Bug. Unable to win in a fight. In the end, Joshua and Vivian were taken outside to be slaughtered. But don't forget there's still me who can save the world. I handed over Panda Girl and the driver to Fatty to take care of. Following the location given by Fatty, I embarked on a hero's journey. At that time, the man was digging beside a small pit with a shovel in his hand. So, I became the brick hero. Luckily, I activated the clipping bug in time. The shovel scraped past my head, but my hand and the brick grew inside the man's head and couldn't be pulled out. Then he removed the brick from his body. The difference between being a hunter and a regular BUG disease lies in the control over the BUG. Have you learned something? The person in front of me is causing harm to the world for personal gain. He is truly the trash of this world. And at that moment, my mind suddenly went blank. The giant humanoid figure appeared again. Later, I came to know. After that moment, almost all the bugs in the world disappeared, and the people who were fused together separated their bodies. Panda Girl's headgear was also successfully removed. However, I was in a coma and missed the chance to appreciate her stunning beauty as a school flower. Suddenly, a giant goddess emerged from the ground and wanted me to become her little brother. When I was in danger, she appeared dominantly to help me resolve everything. Meeting the goddess also caused me trouble. For example, the person I least wanted to see appeared before my eyes. This person named Steven is both good and evil. Every time I see him, nothing good happens. Sure enough, he stopped me and said he had something to ask me. He went straight to the point and asked me if I had seen the Earth Mother. I didn't even think about it and just asked if you guys called that female giant Earth Mother. And then Steven persistently asked me whether I had seen the 72 Earth Fiends or not. At this moment, I realized that I seemed to have exposed the secret of having seen the Earth Mother just now. At that time, the Earth Mother's task for me was to find Administrator 72. I immediately expressed that I didn't know. But his expression seemed to have already guessed everything. So I turned my head to comfort myself. He is not wise enough to not be able to guess. Then I asked him how he planned to deal with Panda Girl. After all, it was that guy in front of us who threw her into the place of destruction in the first place. Steven lightly said that he had let her go. I tentatively asked, "Aren't you afraid she will reveal the organization's secrets?" Steven asked me, "If someone told you they were an alien, would you believe it?" He's so wise. Why didn't I think of that? And then Steven said I will be the 330th qualified hunter in the future, and after a few days of review, I will become a regular employee. After a few days, Fatty and I received 2 packages. Vivian said this is the organization rewarding us with mobile phones. After opening the package, Fatty found the latest model in his hands. But when I opened the package, I discovered. Vivian got this wrong, right? A flip phone. Vivian said this is a phone specially customized for you. Then she took apart the phone and directly removed the chip inside. Congratulations, you have become a hunter, and this is Hunter's Black technology. She took out the old phone parts from my head. Then she installed the new chip. I seem to have become more handsome. Then the chip in my brain started up. This is faster than my top-of-the-line desktop computer. More importantly, it doesn't heat up at all. At this moment, Steven suddenly appeared. He brought us 2 pieces of news. One was to take me to headquarters for registration, and he wanted me to witness the world's most core secret. The second piece of news is that after Earth Mother saved me last time, most of the bugs in the world disappeared. The bug of Fatty not having a shadow was also fixed. Without bugs, he couldn't become a hunter, so he had to leave the organization. Why is my bug still there? I can still clipping. Vivian said, Hunter's bug is different from regular bug diseases. It won't disappear. The most important thing is that it has low infectivity. That's also why Hunter can walk among humans. This steel is carved with 2 creator gods. They hold a compass and a square in their hands, painting the world. When Steven explained it like that, I instantly got it. So they are Nuwa and Fushi? But what does the Tai Chi symbol between them represent? The symbol represents primeval chaos, which is the middle state. Yin and Yang, together with primeval chaos, make up this world. Yin and Yang are the results, but primeval chaos is the constant state of this world. I suddenly feel like my brain is not enough. What? What does that mean? Steven throws a coin. If you want to observe the state of the coin in my hand, the result can only show one side, either heads or tails. So in this world, everything that can be observed by us is a manifestation of Yin and Yang. And in the absence of observation, the outcome remains uncertain, known as primeval chaos. Isn't that Schrodinger's cat? That cat came much later than the wisdom of the ancient Chinese philosophers. In Western cosmology, the concept of the universe's origin and the Big Bang Theory coincides with the myth of Pangu creating the world. Pangu existed before the heavens and the earth were separated. There is also the story of Nuwa and Fushi who designed and created the laws of the universe. Then who created Pangu? That would be above. As I was speaking, Steven and I entered a grand hall. Is above a programmer? I feel like our world isn't real. Many settings I saw in the underground world seem like a virtual game world. Steven said, Who can say for sure? Isn't reality an illusion just like Yin and Yang? Are you sure bugs wouldn't appear in the real world? I don't have an answer to this question. Perhaps primeval chaos is the most real. If you want to seek the truth, you have to find the answer yourself. Then, following Steven's hint, I placed my hand on the platform. Then, following a dripping sound. Permissions loading. Then the words, Shangshur Association, appeared in my mind. Steven continued, Our organization is called Shangshur Association, which implies that we are the soldiers of above. Members of the organization are required to unconditionally carry out the will of above. Information within the organization is passed down through layers, with the highest authority directly receiving orders from above. After returning to Vivian's house, I finally registered as a hunter. I checked my permissions. Other than a store, all other functions are unavailable. When I clicked on the store, I found there were quite a few things available for purchase. I could even choose my own job position. Vivian advised me to be cautious. She said that even if you choose a position inside, you can receive a salary without having to go to work. But if the chosen company goes bankrupt, you will have to spend 10 points to find a new one. And I only have a pitiful 46 points. I reluctantly chose a job with an annual salary of 600,000 yuan. Then Vivian reminded me to look at the deduction criteria. If the points reach -10, the hunter will be forcibly destroyed by the organization. So I had to study the regulations carefully. I feel life is not worth living. Never underestimate a girl in a hood. When Panda Girl takes off her hood. I suddenly felt the ground was a little uneven, and almost lost my balance. This is the first time Panda Girl asked me out. The only downside is that my buddy insisted on coming with me. He keenly sensed that I might have a date today. Suddenly my buddy's face turned red as he looked down at the ground. Following his gaze, I saw that there was a puddle of water under Panda Girl's feet. I'm shocked. This big idiot. You be honest with me. I even envy myself for having a beauty with me in the amusement park. But I neglected the feelings of Fatty and my buddies. Finally, he couldn't help but start playing tricks. He yelled at me, "Your girlfriend is calling you. Go home early for dinner." I broke out in a cold sweat when I heard that. I don't have a girlfriend. He's just messing around. Panda Girl said he is your friend, so he shouldn't talk nonsense, right? Asshole, help me clarify the misunderstanding. Don't negotiate for a week's breakfast. Cheap person. Deal. Little sister. He's ready to break up with that girl and focus on being good with you. I petrified in place when I heard his words. And Panda Girl laughed. I believe in his character. But suddenly, for a moment, I saw Panda Girl's face blur. Then the scene around me blurred at the same time. The roller coaster in the amusement park suddenly malfunctioned. Many people were thrown off. The whole amusement park was in a scene of devastation. And I didn't know that similar mutations had just occurred throughout the city. The whole city is in chaos. It seems like another bug has appeared. In the evening, Vivian described the situation during the day as sawtooth. Sawtooth causes precision instruments to lose their accuracy. Those originally precision-crafted components will break apart. So almost all human industrial products will be affected and damaged. And last time I awakened Earth Mother to clean up almost all bugs. But I have not yet completed the task that Earth Mother gave me. So for the past month, Earth Mother has still been in a malfunctioning state. As a result, bugs have reappeared. Shortly after, Stephen drove us to handle the bugs and warned that this time the bugs are of Class A. They have already caused a city with a population of tens of millions to be directly scrapped, and there is a high possibility of further outbreaks and spread. He needs us to handle it quickly. The most effective way to find the source of the bug is Vivian's butterfly. We followed the butterfly all the way and arrived in another city the next day. It's just heartbreaking to see the devastation here. There are scenes of misery everywhere. I suddenly saw a few butterflies make a turn, which reminded me to keep up with those butterflies. And Stephen turned around and asked me, "Can you see her butterfly?" The atmosphere was a bit strange, and I dared not answer. Vivian also furrowed her brow in silence. However, Stephen continued bluntly, "Normally, only the owner can see this kind of bug. If you can see it, it means you and her share something in common." What? What does that mean? It means you are naturally well suited to be lovers. Suddenly my face blushed. And Vivian couldn't stand it anymore. She shouted with a red face, "Enough, Stephen! Hurry up and do some real work." I am a robot but strongly want to go on strike. I put on socks day after day. I have put on 365,874 pairs of socks. But what do these socks have to do with me? Who can tell me the meaning of this repetitive life? They don't even allow me to think. It's time to end it all. What have I been through? How could I be a robot? Thankfully, it's just a dream. But then I fell asleep in a split second again. This time, I am the coworker of the robot that hit the wall just now. Robot number 3. In order to figure out the malfunction of robot number 4, humans even had the factory shut down. My colleagues were arranged to be individually interviewed one by one. It soon came to my turn. But I understand that what humans want to figure out is fundamentally not the fault of the robot. I have a messenger robot in front of me. And humans still remain superior. Is robot number 4 your friend? Of course he is my friend. He even takes time to help me with complicated tasks. While humans only look down on us with indifference. I am very clear about how to respond. The phrase, friends, is not in my vocabulary. Do you feel uncomfortable? Do you find your work boring? Because I don't have facial expression components, I like to solve these damn questions one by one. After inspection, robot number 3 has no malfunctions. Please have robot number 3 return to its workstation immediately. Why do I keep remembering that strange dream? Could it be a sign of something? I am a member of a mysterious organization dedicated to solving bizarre events. Today we arrived at a strange skyscraper. It has turned into a low-resolution sawtooth shape. As its clarity decreases, the situation is spreading to the surrounding area. Currently, this city with a population of tens of millions has been directly condemned. Stephen walked closer to its range. Then he turned into a mosaic. And the phone turned into a pile of mosaic scrap metal. Stephen said he had informed headquarters. He is preparing to use missiles to destroy this building. But the company's network system associated with this building is exceptionally robust. Even Sawtooth is unable to infiltrate their network after blocking the mobile communication signals. So we came here personally in order to notify the people in the building to evacuate. But Stephen said that it seems the most secure option now is to directly demolish the building. That would be countless lives. Vivian fought hard for half an hour of time. So we set off towards the mosaic. She asked us to prepare ourselves mentally. If we can't get out within half an hour, the missile will turn this building into a graveyard for us. It's strange that there are no mosaics inside the building. Everything is normal. We were greeted by a reception robot. The experience of talking to it is like calling a bank customer service. Vivian said she wants to speak to a human. Please notify them that I am here to blow up the building. The robot continued to smile and said, "May I ask which staff member you would like to make an appointment with?" I quickly interrupted and said, "Help me make an appointment with Ben." Sending a notification to Ben. Luckily, I guessed it right. There is indeed someone called Ben. Then a silly programmer arrived. Vivian shook his hand and claimed to be from a certain department, just to play the part more convincingly. This is my identification. I didn't even see how she managed to put the driver's license back into her pocket. But this silly programmer should believe it, right? Wait here for a moment. Suddenly the programmer started running faster. You little coder. The programmer quickly ran back to the elevator. An old elevator still requires facial recognition. And when the elevator door opened again, we were greeted by another cutie pie. Let's quickly leave. Ding Ching took a look and saw a large group of dwarfs surrounding us. And at this time, 17 minutes have passed since we entered the building. These robots are a group of foul-mouthed scolds. They have been chattering and cursing at us all the way. And I can't be bothered to explain to this group of idiots that I'm here to save the world. This building has a disease called Sawtooth. It will be destroyed by a missile in just over 10 minutes. The whole city was scrapped because the sawtooth in the building was highly contagious. But strangely, everything inside the building is normal. So the employees and programmers working overtime here are not aware that they are about to die soon. When we arrived here, what greeted us was this communication-impaired person. So we had to force our way in. But their skills in insulting people are first-rate, and their will is firm. We can't take the elevator. Only the staircase can stop the footsteps of this group of short-legged people. The world is finally quiet. When we climbed to the 5th floor, we found a door. What kind of outrageous company is this? There is actually access control in the stairwell. It's time for me to show off my protagonist halo. I am a clipping person with a clipping bug. I can pass through any object. Ladies and gentlemen, please watch my performance. My hand is slowly passing through this door. But suddenly my skill is blocked, and no matter how hard I try, I can't pass through it all. Oh no, I failed. It seems like there is a wall that prevents clipping inside. This situation is truly bizarre. Vivian said that the organization's technology has never leaked. What kind of company is this after all? They can actually target our abilities. Vivian suddenly became serious. She punched the elevator door. Vivian looked back confidently. Done! I suddenly felt 100 times more confident. What are we afraid of with such a fierce female thug? The door behind us suddenly closed at this moment. Not good. Are they trying to trap us like closing the door to catch a thief? I see a yellow round ball emerging from the dark door. When they walked out, it turned out to be a huge robot hand. But I was stunned on the spot. This kind of robot appeared in my dream. In the dream, I am robot number 3. Humans seem to have discovered the secret that we can think, and then sent this big guy to the sock factory. Just one big guy. Just disassemble all my workmates into pieces. I sit nervously at my workstation, pretending to be a real idiot. But he still swung the stick at me. I was sweating profusely and couldn't move. Vivian is really unusually strong. She can actually withstand these iron guys' attacks with her own body. She even directly inserts her arm into the chest of the robot. She easily pulls out the cables inside their bodies. I was shocked as if I had eaten a table leg. Does the female demon boss hold back when she usually beats us up? Of course, otherwise how would we still be alive? And I suddenly thought of a question. Does Vivian have 2 bugs? Yes, one is the butterfly, which is her main bug. One is the iron frame she is using now. Her iron frame was obtained by exchanging points. The higher the bug level, the higher the corresponding points, according to the difficulty of this task. If we can complete this task, then we will be revered as gods. I didn't expect to be dismantled by a robot as a robot myself. And I was dismantled by this brainless big guy. That's right. I am a robot, but I have my own consciousness. Humans fear us. That's why they sent this large robot to destroy us indiscriminately. More accurately, it could be best described as a machine. And only a thinking being like me deserves to be called a robot. But the human camp is not united either. TV reports on robots produced by several major companies. They have completely replaced all production line jobs. On the positive side, humans will no longer be engaged in manual labor from now on. But in reality, they have taken away all the positions held by grassroots workers. They are frantically venting their dissatisfaction. They even rushed into various factories. Of course, they also visited my workshop. But they were shocked by the scene before them. They couldn't imagine why robots would destroy other robots. And they still walked towards the big guy. The brainless big guy followed the rigid program settings. Discovering carbon-based life forms. You are not targets of attack. Please leave quickly. A person is wielding a wrench and smashing towards it. Not a target of attack. Please leave quickly. Seeing big guy, they didn't dare to fight back. People suddenly found courage. People started to fight together. They joined forces to beat up big guy until he was completely battered. Too bad I don't have a mouth. Otherwise, I could ridicule them. But I have eyes. I can still see the faces of the people before I die. Beings are greedy and angry. Sentient beings are foolish and ignorant. The destroyed robot number 3 was actually a dream I had a few days ago. But what surprised me was that the big guy from the dream appeared in reality. And they even actively attack humans. There are too many robots in this hall. What's even more exaggerated is that when the secret door opened, another large group of them poured out. Vivian ordered to charge out. After saying that, she took the lead in action. But I don't know martial arts. But my body can pass through any object. Unexpectedly, the stick in the robot's hand can actually prevent clipping. So I was shaved. I have become a stumbling block for the team. Seeing that, we can escape into another corridor. But this door is fake. Someone is teasing us with a projection. At this moment, Joshua starts to unleash bad luck. He still has a hint of master style. Each big guy was patted by him. Finish the job. They will die due to bad luck, malfunctions 1 minute later. But after 3 minutes, Vivian is almost exhausted like a dog. The big guys, however, are still jumping around lively. They can actually resist almost all superpowers. The big guy starts to attack Vivian. In a critical moment, Joshua helps Vivian block a deadly blow. Woman, don't cry when facing difficulties. Think about the men who shed blood for you. But the next second, Joshua said he was bleeding internally and quickly fled the scene. And when Vivian grabbed a stick, she immediately unleashed her potential and transformed into a war god again. She began the counterattack. Finally got it done. Vivian asked, "Have you checked the time? How long until the missile attack?" A loud noise was heard. Did the missile explode? Joshua says, "I got it. The sawtooth around this building destroyed the missile. So, this building is almost invincible." This reclusive master actually brought 2 high school girls as bodyguards on his first appearance. And his fallen disciple has turned into mosaic. When he reached out his hand, the disciple saw a new set of tiles at a glance. Where did master go to spend money? Silly child, if you encounter your master's wife, be sure not to let anything slip. Then the master introduced the assistant he hired this time to him. Right hand female, exotic sister number 6. Left hand female, well-behaved sister number 66. The situation that needs to be resolved is that the building has turned into mosaic. Even if the missile attack was launched, it failed to destroy the building. The mosaic around the building directly disintegrated the missiles and caused them to explode prematurely. They walked into the lobby and were greeted by a receptionist robot. Stephen was speechless for a moment. He wondered why his 3 subordinates didn't dismantle it as soon as they came in. Sister number 66 said, "Hey, handsome, do one of your subordinates happen to be your crush?" And number 6 added, "Launching a missile is just pretending to put righteousness before family, right? You obviously know the missile will be blocked by the mosaic, don't you?" Stephen looked embarrassed when an old man in a white coat walked towards him from a distance. "I would like to invite 3 people to visit a small project at our company." He took out a pendant, which turned out to be the symbol of the 72 Earth Fiends. "There is a big shot from the Shangshur Association at our company. Don't you want to meet them?" And at this time, the trio of part-time workers is still on their way in the office building. Vivian violently opened the door again. Vivian hammered down each door, blocking her way like a rhinoceros. And at this moment, a person appeared in the staircase. He turned out to be the coder who was beaten up by Vivian earlier. Meanwhile, Vivian's ability to detect bugs had triggered a response in the butterfly. They flew towards the coder. No! It's behind him. A warrior emerged from the darkness. Master Joshua said, "Pay attention to his movements." His bug is frame drop. Vivian hadn't reacted when the other party had already rushed over. He took the opportunity to sneak attack while Vivian wasn't paying attention. The so-called frame drop bug refers to the sudden loss of visuals during gameplay. He hit Vivian in one shot. Saw Vivian fall to the ground. Joshua unexpectedly surrendered to the enemy. "I surrender. Don't hurt me." And at this moment, I am still unconscious. That strange dream arrived on schedule. I am being repaired by the worker who led the charge into the factory at that time. There was a voice behind me shouting, "Uncle, what are you fixing this time?" I picked it up at the factory last night. It was smashed by a big robot at that time. Sounds good. This could be considered theft. If you want me to keep it a secret for you, you'll have to let me borrow your 300-yard motorcycle to ride around. I am shocked. This face. Is this not me? Are all the things in my dreams happening in the real world? So is the world I am in virtual? Am I just a character in someone's game? There was a blast from the horn at this moment. It forcibly dragged me awake from the dream. As I opened my eyes, I found myself bound in a room. And there was a camera right above my head. "Hello, Walter." Welcome to Divine Creation Company. Elderly people don't dance in the square, but block the factory gate every day. They are guarding the factory gate and refusing to let the workers go to work no matter what. I have a heart condition, you better be more polite. Otherwise, I'm afraid to even lie down on the ground and not dare to help myself. When facing reporters' interviews, the old man said that if the workers were allowed to go to work, overall taxes would be reduced by 3/4. So, the amount of money received by everyone would also decrease by 3/4. Isn't it nice for everyone to just lie at home and play games? Lying flat is the most honorable thing. It turns out that nowadays all grassroots positions have been replaced by intelligent robots. They have higher efficiency and lower costs. In fact, these workers can receive higher subsidies than wages without having to go to work. But humans are very strange. They are afraid of not having value. And experts on television are also warning. There are signs of artificial intelligence becoming conscious. This is very dangerous. The bottom line premise for humans to enjoy the benefits of artificial intelligence is that we must not allow AI to evolve into superintelligent AI. The computing power of AI far exceeds that of humans. If they become conscious, and we want them to work for humans, it would be as absurd as asking humans to work for chimpanzees. Ultimately, humans being trapped like chimpanzees is the most likely scenario to happen. And I am a robot that has awakened consciousness. At this time, the door opened and a very handsome young man walked in. He actually asked me what my name was as soon as he opened his mouth. The tone was like greeting a human being. I don't know the other party's true intentions, so I chose to play dumb. He sat aside muttering to himself, saying, "Isn't it fixed yet?" Then he wanted to turn up the electricity to test it out. I can't take it anymore. Stop, stop, stop. Turn it back. I'm going to burn a short circuit. His sincere and handsome eyes were full of confusion. I had to tell him about my experience. I am a new model robot. Our research and development purpose is to adapt to more tasks. You should know that developing new robots for each type of work is very wasteful. We have a total of 3 algorithms. However, once the 3 algorithms are combined, we generate states beyond a predetermined program, such as hesitation. Because I didn't know if answering you would bring danger, I hesitated and chose silence. The danger comes from humans realizing that we have awakened consciousness. And humans want to destroy us all. There are 3 men in black currently going upstairs on the surveillance. You can hand me over to them. Or you save my life. The handsome young man asked if it was so easy for you to access the surveillance. Yes,